Hello everybody, it's nice to be back with you. I was out for a while. I had some health issues and I also had family situation, and I didn't have the time to record any videos, and also it's not really the time, it's being kind of lazy at the same time. But I'm back now and I hope to continue my videos, to upload like at least one video a week. Today what I'm going to be making is a Valentine's apple dessert. And I've seen videos that people making this dessert, but this is going to be a little bit different. I saw it on a website. It's called Twig Slices, and those apples are gorgeous because they're dyed. They dye the apple and they come out like real roses. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And I'm gonna attempt to do it. This is like a 2-day process because we have to dye the apple. Right now, what I'm gonna be doing, first step, I'm gonna boil the apples. I'm gonna slice them and boil them. Okay, so here I have a cup and a third of blackberry. And a cup and a third is one of these and a half. One complete and half of another one. That's how much you need to make this. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna add to the blackberries is gonna be one third cup of granulated white sugar. Then we're gonna add 1.5 cup of water. I'm going to turn the stove on and we're going to let this boil there for a little while until it's boiling and the blackberries start to release their color. That's what they look like now with the sugar. And then in the meantime, we're gonna get a mandolin. This is a mandolin. But if you don't have a mandolin, you can do it with a knife because we're gonna slice the apple, cut them and slice them, but we need them really, really thin sliced. Okay, so the apple, we have to take the core out. So you're gonna need 3 apples. Okay, so this is how they're supposed to look. Just like that thin, or at least something like that. Make sure you take out if it has any of the seeds in the middle, you take that off. But this is how they should look. The water's already simmering, but I'm gonna go ahead and slice these apples. Okay, instead of using the mandolin, I'm gonna go ahead and just slice the apples really, really thin. The problem with my mandolin is that it's not cutting very well. Okay, and the apples, we are gonna cut them like this, like that. That's what you wanna. They're not as thin as when you do it with a mandolin, but hopefully it'll work. That's how thin they came out, cutting it with a knife. So I'm gonna put them in here for the time being. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon. So a little bit of lemon so they don't lose their color. So the berries are already like boiling and there's like a dark red, and it's like a dark red wine color liquid juice. So now half of the lemon I'm gonna squeeze in here. then I'm gonna put all the sliced apple in here with this hot liquid. Okay, so let's move this around so all the apples get that color, that deep red color. And we want them to cook a little bit, not too much, just enough so they get soft. Those apples get soft. Okay, so now let's turn the stove off. We want them to get like really pretty red, like blood red or something like that. Like, let's say apple red. No, let's say rose red. Now we're going to put it aside and wait for them to cool off, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator. So I've been stirring it every once in a while so they all get that deep color. So they're still hot, so let's leave it there for a little bit so it cools off. Okay, so this is it. It's cold already. They're cold. I left them out cooling, wow, for about 2 hours or so. So look at the color that they have gotten. But anyway, I'm gonna put it in the fridge until tomorrow because that's what the recipe says. Okay, look at these things. They're already nice and red. But in the morning, I'm not gonna be able to finish this up, but I'll finish it up in the afternoon. And I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator right now. So until tomorrow, or until in a little while. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with the rest of the preparation for the rose apple. And I changed them. I put them in this bowl. I think it was appropriate because it's half of an apple. And they've been in the refrigerator for 2 days. Yesterday I didn't have a chance to continue the video, so I left them an extra day. It doesn't really matter. On the contrary, if you want them redder, the more you leave them in the refrigerator, the more of the red color that they get. Okay, so now we're going to continue. For the next step, what you're going to need is this puff pastry sheets, or you can make them from scratch if you like. But I bought this at the market and I think it's easier. This is what they look like. I've used them before in other recipes and they're fantastic. You have to thaw them out for a little bit, like about 40 minutes. Or what I did was I put them in the microwave, wrapped them in a paper towel, and I put them at high for 15 seconds on one side, then turned it over, and 15 seconds on the other side, wrapped in the toilet, not toilet, wrapped in the paper towel. Now, also, you're gonna need some weight to put on the pastry when you put them in the little tin. Yeah, you're gonna need the tin as well, muffin tin. And weights, so you put them in there so they don't like bubble up. If you have actual baking weights, you can use those, but you can use beans as well. That's what I'm going to use. And also either parchment paper or aluminum foil to put the beans over. You'll see what I'm going to do. Okay, the recipe doesn't call for this, but I'm going to use it. It's the butter spray. I'm going to spray the tins. I'm going to spray the tins before I put the pastry on there. And let's start this process and see what happens. I don't know how many roses you get out of this batch that we're going to make, but I'm going to spray four of the little muffin molds, muffin or cupcake, I should say. Let me do a couple more. It won't hurt. Okay, so there we are. So we're gonna open this up. We have a little sheet of paper in between. and we're gonna cut them in strips just big enough to go around and underneath. So let's see how we're gonna do this. I don't want to overlap too much like that, and I'm going to put like, try to make a little circle. Doesn't have to be perfect circle. I think just enough to cover the bottom. And try to get it. Let me see if I can move the camera over. And try to get it in there. All right, I think that should be good. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of work, but it's something really pretty. Hopefully, if it comes out as it did in the picture that I saw on the website, it comes out beautiful. And I'll put a link to the website. Okay, so with these scraps, let's put them together, and we're gonna use them for the bottom to make the little round circle at the bottom. And spread them to get all the edges over. Just like that. Let's see if we can get one more out of this one. The box brings 2 sheets. I used one so far, and I have the other one there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut one of the strips from the other pastry sheet, and I'm gonna put the bottom on these things. So this is what they look like, lined with the pastry. Okay, and make sure that you cover the bottom well. Now, with the scraps that we have left, we're gonna make little leaves, because remember, these are roses, so we're gonna make little leaves for the roses. And I'm just gonna wing it. I'm not gonna use a cutter or anything, because the leaves are not gonna be that big. Nah, this one didn't come out that good, but I'm gonna use it anyway. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the tin and bake them in the tin. I'm gonna spray some more of these other tins to put the leaves. Let's see how the other ones come out. And you can maybe like turn them a little bit like that, so they get like shape of an actual leaf, not too stiff. So let's do another one. Let's see how this other one comes out. Okay, so here are the leaves. I didn't put them inside the tin because I only need to brown them, and the little rose molds are gonna be in there for 15 minutes. I put a little bit of flour on when I was like rolling or pressing on the dough to make the leaves. I put a little bit of flour and it helped. It was easier because um, the dough didn't stick to the knives. This is what they look like. They're not all that, but the main event here are gonna be the roses. Hopefully, we'll see. All right. So now what we need to do is put a little bit of an egg wash over the leaves so they have a really nice shiny glow to them. I'm sorry that there's a glare from the aluminum foil. Okay, let me take this out of here for now, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line each of the, I don't know what to call it. They're not cupcake, the rose molds. Let's call it the rose molds with aluminum foil. You can use parchment paper if you have parchment paper. Let me cut them off. Okay, like a piece like about that size. Let me cut them off. Okay, so now I'm gonna line each of the rose molds with a little piece of the aluminum foil. Make sure you don't fold the edges of the dough in when you're putting the aluminum foil. And now the beans. We're going to put the beans in there. Alright, so this is what they look like with the bean weights. And this is what the leaves look like with the egg wash. Oh boy, I don't know if you can see it well there. Okay, so now I'm going to put them in the oven, both together. But the leaves, I just want them to brown a little bit and cook, of course. This is going to be in the oven for 15 minutes. And the leaves are going to be in the oven for just as long as they're cooked and brown. And I'm going to put it, the recipe doesn't say what temperature, but I'm going to put it at 350 because that's more or less standard. All right, so here we go. Okay, so now we're going to make a frangipane paste, and for that we're going to need 3 tablespoons of butter. Soften. I try to soften it as much as I could. I'm not going to put it in the microwave because I don't want it too runny. We're also going to need 1/4 cup of sugar, which we have right here. We're going to need 1 large egg. That's the egg I had, not too large, but it's going to have to do. And 3/4 teaspoon of, it calls for vanilla bean paste, but instead I'm going to use the almond extract, and I'm going to put half a tablespoon of the almond extract. And you're going to need 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour and a pinch of salt. All right, so we're going to put, you can roast the almonds if you like. Mine are gonna just like that. Okay, the 4th cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of butter, gonna put it in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, maybe you can put it in the bullet blender, or maybe even the hand mixer. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking out the mold, and the leaves took just as long to cook as the little mold, the little rose cups. And the leaves are not that great, and the little molds are kind of thick. I'm gonna show you right now what they look like. So that's what everything looks like. The leaves are kind of thick. In this, I can always trim that little edge off, but that's what it's gonna be. We'll see how the rest goes. All right, we'll let that cool off there, and we're gonna continue with our frangipane paste, because this has to go back in the oven again. And the egg. The tablespoon of flour, 1 tablespoon of flour. And half a tablespoon of the almond extract. More or less. Let's put a little bit more. We'll see. Well, next time if it's too almondy, then we'll cut down. But we'll try it like that this time. Okay, so this is what it should look like. And this frangipane is like marzipan, but marzipan it's more almonds, and they're used for pastries and for dessert. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this aside for now, taking out the beans on these little cups. So I'm gonna try grabbing the whole thing out and see what happens. I let them cool a little bit. Put them to the side. Little cups didn't stick at all. That's good. They're not completely baked yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. So I left out one of the ingredients from the frangipane, which was the pinch of salt. And I'm gonna add that right now. I guess that should be a pinch. Okay, and I'm gonna beat it again. All right. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, let me show you what the little cups look like. This is what they look like. Okay, one of them, the bottom of the top one there broke. Don't know if you can see it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the frangipane in there. Okay, so we're gonna put a thin layer. Okay, so this is what they look like, and I made sure, I even used the one that had the crack on there at the bottom. I put frangipane in there too, and I made sure that I covered the bottom really good, because since that has eggs, it should seal the bottom. All right, so now the next step here. Now these leaves, I'm not too happy with these leaves because they're kind of thick. Let me see if taking it out, some of it will come off. Yeah, a little bit came off. So these are the leaves, how they came out. They're not too browned, but maybe now when I put them back in the oven, they'll brown even more. We'll see. All right, so now the next step is we're gonna get our apples, our beautiful apples. And we're gonna drain them. We're gonna reserve that liquid, but we're gonna take out the apples. So I'm gonna use the strainer to take out the apples. The blackberries are still in there, remember. The recipe didn't say anything about taking out the blackberries, so I left them in there. Okay, I'm sure I'm not going to use them all because some of them are not very pretty, but we're going to pat them dry with a paper towel. Try to get the ones that are thinnest, I would say. That's part of the blackberry. Okay, and now let me put them here. Let me pat dry a little bit of them, a few of them. Some of them are really thin. Okay, so I drained about that many slices of apple and patted them on a paper towel, and now I'm going to start arranging them on each of the little cups. Remember, this is the first time that I do this, so bear with me and we'll see how it goes. Overlap them, make sure they are overlapped. That for sure I know it have to be overlapped. This one is kind of thick. Use that one. And the pastry is also pretty thick. I wish I would have made it a little bit thinner. So if you're gonna make these, make sure that you roll that dough and make it thinner. Don't make them as thick so you can see the roast well. But I'm gonna try to make it as nice as possible and as rosy like as possible too. Maybe a few. Okay, I think when you get to the center, roll them a little bit on your hand, in your hand, so they close better. In the next one, roll it a little bit more in your hand. Make sure you tug the little edges in. It's not that bad. I just wish I had less of the pastry shell showing. But this one, I do another one, I'm gonna try to like overlap over the edge the petals. I think this would probably be the last one. No, it's too thick. Let's get a really thin one. And just roll it in as much as you can so you can fit it right here in the middle. Shoot. Nice. Oh, that came out great. Fantastic. Yeah, I just pushed it in there and it worked. Okay, now, so that's what that one looks like. Now, the next one we're gonna make, I'm gonna go ahead and overlap the top here. Just overlap the edge and see how that will work out. And overlap each one onto each other, making it round. Make sure you don't see those little edges here. Work them in there. If you have a mandolin that works good, I would suggest you use the mandolin because it will be a lot easier with the really thin apple wedges, to cut the apples in wedges. All right, next layer. You can work it in there as you please. If you find any of the little seeds from the blackberries, take them off, because I don't know, that will be it won't be very pleasant when you find that. Okay, I think this one's coming out nicer. Okay, let me drain some more of the apple. Yeah, these are not that thin. This one is. I've seen these videos of these, but when they make them, it's easier because they roll them up and they put jelly in between, but they don't dye them. They just leave them the color of the apples with the edge of the apple in red. But I think this looks extra special. Okay, I got this little piece here, which let me see if I can just tuck it in here. I want to make it as realistic as possible. Yeah, that worked out good. Now this one, what I'm going to try to do is see if I can put some on the outside. So, you know, so it won't be the oddball here. Okay, we'll see. It's not really that hard, it's just a matter of getting the hang of it. And getting the slices thin. The thinner, the better. Well, not too thin that they break off, but just enough that you can maneuver them around. All right, so let's see if I can get a little thin one over here. Oh, that's pretty good. That looks pretty good. And that one kind of sunk in, but oh well. Now, I'm going to do the other 2 or 3 or as much as I have apple slices for. But I'm going to use the same procedure. When I'm done, I'll come back to the video. Okay, so the flowers are done. Okay, I figured out that with a little toothpick you can do a lot of things, like put the center, and if you get any of the seeds, just take them out with a little toothpick. And also this one, like it shrunk in, you can take it out like that, fix it around the petals so they come out more like that. And let me see, this one really shrunk. Oh, another thing, I had enough of the petals for the 6 of them. The last one I really had to push it, but it worked out. So let me just, what I'm gonna do is this one. Just try to fit this in here with a toothpick. Just like that. So it looks like a real rose. They look pretty good, I think. Okay, now this is the one that the bottom broke off, but we'll see how it works out. Now the leaves, putting the leaves here, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to take out some of the bottom part so they're not as thick. We'll see here. And try to, like, that's a seed, and just try to maybe, I don't know. Oof, that looks terrible. All right. So I'm gonna try to incorporate the leaves in here somehow, maybe like trimming them a little bit and just fitting them in there. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but we'll see. This one might be better. You see how thin that one I cut? I cut that one really thin, so that one might work out good. Oh no, it broke off. Okay, so this is how I cut a lot of I cut them in half so they won't be too thick. I don't know if they're gonna stick, probably not, but in the meantime, we'll leave them there for now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them back in the oven for 20 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. And there we go. Let me go ahead and clean up a little bit. What's left over from the frangipane, don't throw it away. You can cook it and add it to dessert. Okay, so now we're not done yet. Almost there, but not quite. Now we're gonna get 1/2 cup of sugar. With a 1/2 cup of sugar, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the juice. Okay, I'm gonna put the 1/2 cup sugar in here, and we're gonna measure 1/2 cup of this syrup. Let me get rid of this first. and half a cup of the liquid, that syrup, half a cup of that. I strain it so we don't get any of the little seeds from the blackberry in there. Okay, and it came out to well, 3/4. It goes for half. Okay, there we go, half. So we're gonna put this in here with the sugar, put it on high and cook it. Mix it, stir. So what we want is like a thick syrup. A thick syrup is what we want here. It should cook pretty fast. So stir it every once in a while. So this recipe is great for Valentine's Day, but it's also great for Mother's Day. Beautiful gift for mom. Kind of time consuming, but I think in the long run, if it's for somebody special, it's worth it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it off already. It's pretty thick. I'm gonna let it cool there for a few minutes until the roses come out of the oven. Okay, I think I put too much of the frangipane at the bottom, and it just came up, like some of it, and some of them it just came up. So now what I'm gonna do is, with this syrup that we made, see how thick it got? Pretty thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush. The roses. Brush them so they get a nice glaze, shiny glaze. And the leaves look pretty good. They cooked a little bit more and it was perfect. So you can cook the leaves with the little cups. And it takes like about 15 minutes for them to bake too. Yeah, exactly like the little shell, like the little cups. What I'm going to do with a toothpick, I'm going to try to bring them up a little bit. These two that have the bottom part showing, I'm going to try to fix them. See if I can bring them up a little bit more. At least some of the petals, so you don't see the bottom part, the white of the frangipane. You just cover it up somehow. I'm sure they taste delicious. Okay, that's gonna do it. That's good enough there. Okay, now we're gonna put them back in the oven for 5 more minutes. So that glaze sticks real good too. Wow, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Here they are, a masterpiece. Here they are, that's what they look like. That's what they look like after they're completed. They're not, a little bit time consuming, but the outcome is gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm gonna attempt to take them out. Hopefully they should come out easily because I sprayed the tin. So let's see, let's start with this one. I'm using a rubber spatula, a little one. Let's try here. Boy, boy, boy. Well, the leaves didn't stick. And this is kind of stuck here. Hopefully, after all this trouble, maybe I should let them stand for a little bit. Yeah, let me just take this one out. Okay, this one came out okay, but this one came out okay. But I'm gonna let them stand for about 5 minutes. And I'll put the leaf back in here. So I waited like about 5 more minutes. I'm gonna attempt to take out the next one. Oh yeah. I think it makes a difference. Absolutely. So let them cool a little bit before you take them out. And that's what they look like. Okay, so let's try another one. And a little heart for Valentine's Day. Okay, so the one that I said that was broken in the bottom, it broke off. Apparently the frangipane went through and it broke it off. So make sure you seal the bottom really, really well. The bottom of the little pastry before you put the frangipane or before you even bake it. So, but that's fine. We're gonna use it. We're gonna use it anyway, hopefully. See if I can make it work here. Oh well. That one's gonna be mine because I know the taste is gonna be the same. And I'm gonna go ahead and taste them. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. So here is my broken rose. And let's try it out. I think it's gonna be easier with my hand. Something out of this world. It's better than good. It is excellent. It's sweet, but the little crust, since it's not sweet, since the crust is not sweet, it makes it really, really a perfect blend. The crust is flaky. I really recommend it. It's worth it. Okay, so please let me know if you try it. Let me know what you think, and make sure you watch my other videos. And I'll try to post videos every week from now on. Okay, I'm not gonna get lost again like I did before. And hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It'll really help me a lot. I'll really appreciate that. And hope you come back. Hope you come back and see us again. Okay? May God bless you and have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh, and to all, a happy Valentine's Day. Okay? Enjoy. This is all gone already.